Okay, so it's time to look at the various software components of a system. In the previous video, you looked at hardware. So let's have a look here. We are talking about software, so that's stuff that you can't touch. It's not tangible, it's code. It's programs that run on your computer, and they have to run on an operating system. The operating system is a type of software. It's a special type of software made to run applications. So let's have a look at what kind of operating systems we have. First of all, the one that you guys know already, Windows 10. Windows 10 is the operating system that you are most likely using right now, and we are going to be using that for the rest of this year. The X, does that look familiar? That's the Apple. That's Apple. Apple Mac OS X. The X means 10, and they have then various versions of that, like Windows 10 has various versions of Windows 10. This little guy, he's been around for some time. That represents a mobile operating system for phones and tablets. That's Android. I hope you know that. This is Ubuntu. You should know about this, okay? This is an open source operating system. It is based on Linux. Linux started many years ago, and it's an open source operating system. That means it's free. The code is accessible to anyone who wants to see the code, modify the code, change the code in any way that they want. So this is how we actually have different versions of Linux. We have different versions of Ubuntu, or they call them flavors or distributions. So Ubuntu is another operating system for a desktop, and it actually is really nice to use. You should actually check it out. Of course, another mobile operating system, which you might be familiar with if you have an iPhone, is the iOS. The iOS, that is Apple's mobile operating system. This is one you may not have heard of, CentOS. This is also a Linux-based operating system, open source, and CentOS is actually used to power a lot of web servers around the world. There's also Apache, which is the standard. Apache is another operating system, but CentOS is actually very powerful and used quite often. Let's have a look at some of the applications, the software that you get within Microsoft Office 365. This is the account that you normally have if you're in a school and you have a school account. You have Office applications. We know these. I'm just going to run through them for you. Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Access, Teams. You should know that one. That is a great application. What does that mean? Email, yes, I know it's got an O on it, but it's Outlook, so it's for email, Microsoft Outlook. And Publisher, not PowerPoint, Publisher. Here are some other applications you may or may not be familiar with. We have this icon representing a PDF document. There we've actually got the name of the company called Adobe. Adobe were the forerunners of PDF applications and PDF documents, but there's so many PDF applications around now. Notepad++ is a fantastic text editor. So instead of using Notepad, which we were used to using on Windows, Notepad++ is actually very nice to use. You should be familiar with this one. This is OneNote. We've got Skype. That's a lovely one. That is Audacity. That is for working with sound files and editing sound files and recording sound files. Very powerful, also open source. VLC, for anything video related. VLC is your go-to tool. Does that look familiar? That's a Minecraft block. Gaming, okay, various software applications we use games. And that is to represent the Windows Task Scheduler program, which is a type of software called a utility program, and we'll get more into that as we go. So just to recap, we have PDF readers, text file applications, digital notebooks, voice over IP, VoIP. You can say VoIP if you really want to, just sounds funny. Audacity for audio editing. That shouldn't say audio editing, that should say video editing. I'm going to fix that. Gaming and utility software. Web browsers. Now, to browse the web is very easy, but you need a web browser in order to browse the web. Have a look at these guys. Okay, here we have a whole bunch of web browsers, and I'm sure you know these ones. We have Google Chrome. Okay, don't just say Google, it's Google Chrome. We have Firefox, Microsoft Edge. This is sort of the successor of Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is just no more, don't even use it, okay? Edge is the new Internet Explorer. There's actually a new one coming out soon, but Edge is what we have for now. The last two, do you recognize those? Look at the bottom right one. That is, it looks like Chrome, but it's not. It's very similar though. It's based on the same code. It's called Chromium. Also, again, that's what Linux users have. It's called Chromium. And the last one, if you're an Apple fan, that will be Safari. More types of software. Cloud storage. Cloud storage, storing your information online, on the internet, in a server somewhere else, somewhere in the world, on an actual hard drive, but somewhere else on this massive network called the internet. So let's have a look. These you will probably be familiar with. We've got OneDrive, which you have with your Office 365 account. This is called backup and sync. Now, this is actually what we used to call Google Drive. So this is now called backup and sync. Google Drive is changing its name. It's become backup and sync. It's even got a new logo and everything. Dropbox. I'm sure you've heard of Dropbox. Mega. Now, it's not new, but it's not very well known here because this is actually in New Zealand. This is a company in New Zealand, of all places, and they have cloud storage, but they have like terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of cloud storage. So, and it's free as well. So check it out. It's actually not bad and very secure. Box is another one as well. So in a nutshell, those are all the software applications that we are looking at and working with and just being aware of. And if you have any questions, put your hand up and I'll help you.